On the 9th of August, we have a full moon in the sign of Aquarius. Stay tuned to find out what this means for your sign. We are going to talk about the energy of this full moon, plus we're going to run through all 12 zodiac signs. If you're new here, hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Georgie. I am a Western astrologer using the tropical zodiac. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't lose me in the abyss of YouTube. And if you do get value from this video, then please give the video a thumbs up and drop a comment, as this pushes the video out to those that need it. So I do appreciate that. Now, if you're returning to the channel, welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for watching and being here today. We've got some lighting issues. My ring light decided to give up the ghost. It's Mercury retrograde, so something was bound to happen. So I've got a bit of a makeshift light here, but yeah, apologies for the lighting today. I hope everyone's well. I hope you are navigating the Mercury retrograde energy really well. I feel like I'm getting a bit fed up of it, now. I don't know about the rest of you. Hasn't been that bad for me personally. I have Mercury retrograde in my chart, but I know a lot of people are struggling, but it's also been quite productive. So yeah, guys will have to let me know how you've been kind of navigating this energy. So full moon in Aquarius. I was going to say it feels like such a long time since we had a full moon in Aquarius, but of course it's been a whole year. So full moon in Aquarius is happening at 17 degrees. This is a Leo degree, so we can expect kind of general Leo themes engraved into this when we think about leadership, where we think about pride, ego, bravery, creativity, also things to do kind of with royal celebrities that may also be relevant in some way. Now, Aquarius is an air sign and it's a fixed sign. So we want to focus on the element and the modality to start with. Aquarius being an air sign, this is about communication. This is about information. This is about details of things. And I often, when I think of Aquarius, I often think of the archetype of the teacher, because Aquarius is a sign that loves to gather their own information, to go and do their own research, and really to develop their minds. It's one of the signs of the future, and Aquarius are very, very, very good at kind of thinking outside the box, gathering lots of information, and then becoming that teacher archetype that is very able to share that information with other people. So information around futuristic things can be relevant in some way. Under this full moon, we may see things coming out in the news to do with technology, all of that kind of stuff. Now, especially because the modern ruler is connected to Pluto and Mars, and also traditionally Saturn being the ruler is also connected to Mars and Uranus and Pluto. So there's a lot of connections here with Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, which is about transformation. And so the full moon itself may be bringing up themes that we've been mentioning in other videos about, technology, aliens, about, things to do with AI, all of that kind of stuff. There may be things coming up under this full moon in Aquarius. Now, yes, it's an air sign, but it's also a fixed sign. So fixed energy is able to stay the distance. It doesn't like change. It is very, very good at keeping something steady and keeping something going. So the cardinal signs, we find things started. The fixed signs, we find things continued. And it's got that stability. And like I said, it doesn't like change necessarily. So you can feel a little bit more kind of rigid in your ways under Aquarius energy. It can actually be very stubborn. I know Taurus gets the reputation in astrology for being the most stubborn sign, but I do think Aquarius can definitely battle that in certain aspects. So you may just see that coming up in your life in some way. Now, Aquarius is the sign of the people. It's the sign of the collective. It is the sign of groups and friendships. And so under this energy, you may just feel, for some of you, depending where this is in your chart, like you are gathering together. You are gathering as part of a group. You're gathering as part of a cause. Aquarius energy is the energy of humanitarianism. And so I'm thinking about things going on in the world right now, and how maybe something is going to be coming up about aid, charities, maybe having a breakthrough with certain things that I'm not going to mention, but you know what I'm talking about in the news, awful events in certain countries where aid is not getting where it needs to go. I'm hoping under this full moon that aid is going to be getting through, because Aquarius is the sign of humanitarianism, activism, So on the one hand, we might see riots, we might see groups protesting more under this energy. On the other hand, it can be that we're going to see some sort of breakthroughs with aid and kind of charities being able to deliver the amazing work that they actually set out to do. So we might see some of that come up under this full moon, which could be really positive. Now, this full moon is happening in the second decan of Aquarius, which is connected to the Six of Air tarot card. So I'm going to read you the affirmation that comes with this tarot card. So it says, rite of passage, a necessary change in thinking to gain greater wisdom. However turbulent the waters are at the moment, I trust that if I create calm within, my outer conditions will soon be calm too. I am conditioned to expect troubles ahead, but I have shifted my awareness and know that I can choose to believe that stepping into the unknown will bring me to what I truly desire. I am in a transition to something better. So it's really signaling kind of the thinking part. You know, it's an air sign. When we have full moons in air signs, there's an element of overthinking. So the moon doesn't necessarily, it's kind of neutral in Aquarius. It's not necessarily, bad. It's not detrimental or anything like that. But you might just feel a little bit more like you're overthinking, you're in your thoughts, just because of the fact that it is an air sign. Now, the full moon itself, obviously, this is when the sun is opposing the moon in the sky. So it is also highlighting the Leo axis in your chart. Leo is about creativity. It's about independence. It's about doing our own thing, our egos, focusing on ourselves, being brave. It's the sign of the inner child and children. Aquarius is about doing things together. So this is about balancing what you're creating on your own and offering it to a group in some way, whether it's coming together with friends, whether it's coming together in a group setting, whether it's offering something to benefit a group rather than just focusing on yourself. And there's a balancing act here between me, my ego, pride, and the collective, the greater good, humanity, the bigger cause here. Aquarius is also connected to our aspirations for the future, things that we're working towards, everything kind of futuristic, which I did kind of touch on briefly, but anything kind of futuristic and what we're working towards in the future in general can come up under Aquarius. So think manifestations, really, really good time to manifest, as with every full moon. But Aquarius is the energy of doing things differently, not conforming, rebelling, wanting to break free. So you may just feel under this energy that you want a bit more space, you want a bit more freedom, you don't want to conform to the norm, you might be feeling a bit rebellious in some way, but you can also have a breakthrough. There can be a breakthrough under this, and I'm recording this on the 30th of July, so we're building up to the full moon over the next week. And so you will start to see things happen on the build up to the full moon. It's not just the day, although yes, something can happen on the day, but I often see things building up before the full moon, and same thing with the new moon. So just kind of pay attention to that. Now, the only aspect really being made to the full moon itself is a square from Juno, and Juno is our committed partnerships. She is the asteroid of commitment, and so squaring this full moon, there can be themes coming up around commitment, around your committed partnerships, around your relationships, and around how committed you are to these. The moon is how we feel, right? So emotions are coming to the surface when it comes to things to do with our partnerships. And with Juno in Scorpio, there can be an element of maybe jealousy, maybe insecurity coming up potentially with the square to the full moon. So that's just something to watch out for. Maybe a partner's feeling a bit more jealous. Maybe a friend is coming at you for something. But it's our committed relationships really. So the things that you're committed to, there can be elements of, I feel like I just want to keep saying the word maybe jealousy or insecurity coming up. Issues around potential control being brought to the surface under this full moon. Maybe a partner's overthinking certain things and they're telling you how they're feeling at this time. That will be relevant for some of you, not all of you, but you might be able to apply that to different areas of your life. And so the traditional ruler of this full moon is Saturn, which we know is now retrograding in the sign of Aries. And Saturn, during this full moon, is in an exact opposition with Mars, which isn't the best energy, guys. I'm not going to lie. You know, this is a full moon and the ruler's opposing Mars. So we are going to see things we are going to see some unpleasant things coming up. Mars is now into Libra, so this makes it a bit more diplomatic, but Mars is actually detrimented in Libra because Mars rules Aries. And so it's interesting because Mars it's not exactly mutual reception, but Saturn exalted in Libra and Mars is in its home sign in Mars. So they're opposite. It's not mutual reception because they're not the rulers, but it's interesting that they are in opposite signs in which they perform best in. That makes it a bit more interesting, and actually that mitigates things a little bit. But Saturn in Aries is teaching us to slow down and be patient with the things that we are striving towards. Mars coming into Libra is striving for diplomacy, but it's in a tense aspect with Saturn, so there's going to be some frustrations. There's going to be like, I want to do this thing, but I can't. I want to get somewhere, but I can't. I'm striving towards this thing, but I'm being blocked by Saturn. And so you're being encouraged to be patient and try and channel any physical energy you have into physical activity. When Mars is involved, try and channel any frustrations into physical activity. This can be a bit passive aggressive. Mars and Libra, it doesn't know how to assert itself properly, so there can be some passive aggressiveness. Thinking in kind of world views, in world events, we might see things coming up to do with conflict under this energy. So although I've just spoken about activism, it can be because of more conflict going on, or something like that could be relevant. Now, having said that, Saturn is also actually being supported by Pluto and Uranus. And Uranus is the modern ruler of this full moon. So the modern ruler of this full moon is in a harmonious aspect with the traditional ruler of this full moon. So they are working together. So I think that's going to really be quite beneficial. Both of them are working with Pluto. So this is about transformations when it comes to the collective, transformations around humanity, transformations around technology, forward thinking, goals, breakthroughs, all of those kind of things. So there is an element of help here with both of these planets being connected to Pluto. And Uranus, being the modern ruler of this full moon, is in a grand trine with Mars and Pluto. So actually this is positive. So although Mars is in this tense aspect with Saturn, it's like, okay, I'm feeling frustrated, but actually there's potential for breakthrough. Or I'm going to do something rebellious with Mars trying Uranus. Or I'm going to do something that I've not done before. I'm going to try something that I've not done before. It can also manifest as that. What else did I want to say about that? Obviously, Saturn is also conjunct Neptune. So again, the ruler of this full moon is being softened by Neptune here. So there can be an element of idealism, of fantasy, an element of potentially reaching your goals, I would say. You know, full moon in Aquarius, future, what we're working towards. Traditional ruler conjunct Neptune, okay, it's in Aries, but you're working towards something new potentially. Both of these planets are retrograding, so things are moving slower and more internal, but Saturn and Neptune together is goals and dreams being put into reality. So the full moon itself is a mixed bag. This is a really, really mixed bag, I would say. And of course, we're still in the midst of Mercury retrograde. Mercury being in the same sign as the Sun. So again, it's really putting emphasis on the Leo and the Aquarius sections of your chart, which we will dive into. Now, Venus is building into a conjunction with Jupiter, which is really lovely during the time of this full moon. Venus and Jupiter together are, this is the two benefic planets coming together. Jupiter's exalted. Venus actually really likes being in Cancer. And so this is building to a positive energy. So this is going to be kind of benefiting us in the background. Now, I am going to move on to talking about the signs. Now, remember, do always listen for your rising sign. It's the most accurate, but your sun and your moon will also be relevant. So always listen to all three signs. Let me know in the comments as you go. And before we get into that, guys, I just want to mention that I do personal readings. So if you would like your chart read, I do a variety of readings. And also if you are interested in astrocartography, which is the astrology of location, then I do astrocartography readings as well. Very exciting, one of my favorite readings. That so if you're thinking about relocating or moving and you're not sure where to go, then an astrocartography reading can be really, really beneficial to help you understand which location is going to be best for you and activating the most positive aspects of your chart. So we are going to get into the signs now. I'm going to start with Aries and I'm going to move through to Pisces. Aries and Aries rising, this full moon in Aquarius is happening in your 11th house. This is your friendships, the groups that you're a part of, the networks that you're a part of, and your goals and aspirations for the future. So you guys may have something come up at this time. You may be spending time with friends. You may be reconnecting with friends, especially during the Mercury retrograde. We can all often reconnect with people from the past, especially lovers for you, because this is happening in your 5th house. So under this full moon in Aquarius, it can be reconnecting with people from the past. There can be a realization about your goals, because full moons often bring up light bulb moments and realization. So it can be just a simple realization around what it is that you're working towards. Especially because the traditional ruler of this is in your 1st house. So Saturn is now in your 1st house. You are being asked to take responsibility around your life direction. Maybe you're having a bit of a reality check about something to do with your life. And so the full moon may be highlighting this about your goals. So it's like, okay, where am I headed? What am I working towards? Square to Juno in your 8th house is bringing up possibly issues around intimacy and things to do with personal partners or secrets, and whether you, for some of you, whether you want to stay committed to a relationship or whether you have trust issues with them in that relationship can be coming up. And the modern ruler Uranus is in your 3rd house. So it can be that you're traveling somewhere with friends. Maybe you're going on a short trip. Maybe you're going, to the beach or to the museum or somewhere in your local city or town. You're traveling somewhere with friends. You can be connecting with people online. You can be especially if you work on the internet, you can be very, very busy under a full moon. So it can be that you're having more clients come in, having more contact and more communication, especially as your social houses here are being activated by this grand trine. And so with Pluto in your 11th as well, there are going to be changes just in general to your goals and aspirations for the future, but also to your friendships and the groups and the people that you hang around with. And so a full moon can see, okay, I don't want to hang around with this group of people anymore, or I'm done with this group of people. I'm fed up of this. These are not the people I want to hang around with. Or it can just be that you're leaving a group or a networking situation and you're saying goodbye to it. And so, yeah, for you, this is going to be about your social connections or your hopes and aspirations for the future, and just having a realization under this energy. So tarot cards, we're going to pull a card for Aries under this energy, please. And you guys get the 9 of Water. Okay, I'm going to read you the positive affirmation for the 9 of Water. So it says, dreams come true. We were just talking about dreams and aspirations. Wishes fulfilled, completion, enjoyment, contentment, achievement of desire. Okay, so for some of you, you are going to be achieving the desires that you've been working towards. It says, it is right to say no to what isn't right for me, and now is my time to experience wishes fulfilled. The sweet harvest that came about from seeds I planted. I drink in the aroma of successful endeavour. I take pride in my hard work and achievement and save the satisfaction of a job well done. I deserve to pause and acknowledge all that I co-created, and I do it joyfully. So that's a really positive card for you guys. Think back to what was happening 6 months ago around the new moon in Aquarius, because if you were planting seeds then this full moon is going to be highlighting something which you may have manifested around this time. So I hope that resonates. Do let me know in the comments, Aries, and I'll see you in the next video. Taurus and Taurus rising, this full moon in Aquarius is highlighting your 10th house of career, public image, reputation, status. So a full moon here can have you leaving a job. It's as simple as that. It can be that you are rethinking a job, you're leaving a job, you're saying goodbye to a job, especially as Pluto is here, retrograding, transforming your career in some way. But for a lot of you, it might be that you're not looking to leave a job, but there can be a change or an ending into how you're seen or you're perceived by the public. It can be a change in your status. So for some of you, it might look like a relationship status can be changing under this full moon. You can go from single to, in a relationship, or from in a relationship to single. That's possible for some of you. There can be, you can just be busy. So you can be busy at work, busy in your career. You can be very seen under this energy. So how you are being seen, how your public image, you're very in the limelight under a full moon in the 10th house. Now, with Mercury retrograding the 4th, you've maybe been rethinking about things to do in the home, rethinking around home situations. Does my housemate still, do I want my housemate still to live with me? Do I want to rearrange the furniture? Do I want to move house? And there's all these questions that are coming up. And I think it's important to mention that because the sun is here too, and obviously it's about balancing these two houses. So focus on the home and environment. but also how is it affecting your career? So what links are here for you, Taurus? Is it that you're thinking about how much you work from home versus how much you go into the office? Are things changing in terms of your work schedule, or things to do with your boss can be coming up, and the people that you work with can definitely be coming up under this full moon? Having a realization about that. Now, the modern ruler of this is Uranus in your second house. So for some of you, I want to say this really could be making a new way of making money from your career. So this is why a change in your career is going to affect your income. A change in your status can also be linked towards some healing that you're doing with Saturn in the 12th house. So maybe you're working on your spiritual connection and you're being seen more. Your reputation is changing because of the work that you're doing, or because of spirituality, or something to do with hospitals, clinics, and places of solitude and worship in some way. So it could be, for example, if you are, you're going to a spa and you're posting on social media, or you're doing something new spiritually and you're posting about it. So people are seeing you. You're very seen in the 10th house and its connection to spirit. But also with the Uranus connection here, there's other things going on to do with your money and your career. It could be that some money is coming in and you're getting more seen. So that would be really great if that is the case for some of you. You get the King of Water. Wow. Okay. So this can represent, let me just skip. So this can represent you as a person, you being some sort of leader, some sort of spiritual leader. And I know that's not going to be all of you. So I just want to read this for you if I can find the page. So, generous, diplomatic, fair, gentle, a good listener, non-judgmental, peacemaker, and a mediator. I honour and respect all beings, including myself, and I see the commodities we share and the spirit that is in all of us. I listen to other voices and I blend them with my own wisdom before settling on an opinion, making a decision or taking an action. I gently and lovingly lead others away from fear and divisiveness and into harmonious collaboration. So, can you see what I mean about you being a leader and you being able to help others? But I also feel like this is some sort of realization. When it says before settling on an opinion and making a decision, there's like some sort of realization that needs to be made, maybe under this full moon. So you're realizing something and you've got to make a decision, but connecting with others and listening to them is going to be what helps you make this decision. So hopefully that resonates with you guys. Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next video. Gemini and Gemini rising. This full moon in Aquarius is happening in your 9th house. So this is the house connected to our faith, our beliefs. This is the house of travel, the house of learning, higher education. This is what we're publishing. This is what we're broadcasting. So, YouTube, written publications, all of that can come up in the 9th house. But this is also the house of legal matters, which may be relevant for some of you. So, for some of you, it can just be that you're traveling or you're leaving a destination under this full moon. It can be that you're leaving a destination or you're finishing up a chapter, living abroad, something like that can definitely be possible. For others, this is going to be about your beliefs, your mindset. The 9th house is our worldview. It's our beliefs. It's our faith. With Pluto here, you're making changes around your beliefs, around your faith. This is the house of astrology, for example. It can be connected to spirituality. Any kind of religion, faith, spirituality, whatever your faith or beliefs are, show up in the 9th house. So there can be some changes to this, or there can be a realization under this full moon about your beliefs or your faith. Maybe you're deciding that you believe in something different. Maybe your values are changing around the things that you believe in. You're having some insights. You're having a light bulb moment, like, wow, I didn't realize that. Especially with Mercury retrograding in your 3rd, you're having a rethinking around your mindset's changing. You're rethinking how you process information. Now, the modern ruler of this Uranus is in your 1st house, so changes to yourself. So for some of you, I can really see it as like, okay, I'm going to start diving into a new religion, or I'm going to really start diving into spirituality. And this is Uranus in the 1st house, like, wow, suddenly I'm becoming an astrologer. Suddenly I'm becoming really interested in a new set of beliefs in some way. And this full moon, you're realizing that, or you can be kind of finishing and completing something to do with something you've been studying. For some people, if you've been studying a course, then this can be completing under this time, or you're having a realization about something that you want to learn, especially with the Mercury retrograde in the 3rd. You're having a realization, okay, I want to go and learn this, I want to study this. And you can just be doing more of it under the full moon. The traditional ruler Saturn is in your 11th house, and there can be a connection between your goals for the future, your beliefs and your goals for the future. Your beliefs are changing about your goals for the future, or you're joining some sort of group to do with beliefs. Maybe you're joining some sort of spiritual or religious group. That's definitely possible. Ninth house, like I said, is also legal matters. So something could be happening under this full moon connected to yourself. Anything kind of legal related can happen. You also might be meeting a teacher or a guru that's going to help you kind of move towards your goals in some way. Not all of those topics will be relevant, but one of them probably will be relevant. But sometimes the ninth house really is just like we're having to have faith around something. And you get the 8 of air. Okay, so relevant that it's an air card, especially because you are a Gemini. You guys do tend to overthink a lot. And so you may be extra overthinking under this energy. It's just something to watch out for. Try and do some meditation and breath work if possible. Use your lungs. Gemini rules the lungs, so that would be really, really beneficial for you if you're feeling extra anxious. 8 of air. Release from denial, seeing things as they are, and clarity. With spirit at my side encouraging me, I open my eyes to see things as they really are. To be disillusioned is to free myself from illusions that keep me from the growth and healing I deserve. So I bid goodbye to illusions that have clouded my vision. Honesty gives me strength and courage to face whatever I have to face. So this, there can be some changes in how you're really viewing things. And again, this is linked towards your beliefs and your worldview in some way. So I hope that resonates, Gemini. Let me know in the comments if you know how this is manifesting for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cancer and Cancer rising, you are experiencing a full moon in your 8th house of transformation, intimacy, psychic. This is the house of crisis. This is the house of death and rebirth. Most of the time it's not literal, but sometimes it can be. Now, okay, a full moon in the 8th house is a little bit intense. This is where we can go very, very deep. This is the house connected to our secrets, our skeletons, things kept in the closet. It's the house of psychology. And so under this full moon, you can be having a realization about your own behavior. You could be wanting to dive into your own behavior, wanting to learn. Now, because the model ruler of this is in the 12th house, for some of you, you're going to be going through some sort of crisis. And I know that sounds really dramatic, and that will not be for all of you, but it may be for some of you, because Uranus in the 12th is about healing, and it can be about pain. And so my advice would be try and tap into meditation, spirituality, and all things like breath work, Reiki, anything kind of spiritual healing can be so beneficial when we have transits in the 12th and the 8th. This is how you utilize this energy, because these houses can be painful at times. Now, for a lot of you, it's not going to be that dramatic. It can simply be that you are finishing up a divination practice. Maybe you are finishing or saying goodbye to a divination practice, or a class that you went to do with tarot or astrology or something like that. You're saying goodbye to it, or you're just finding yourself going to one. That's also possible under a full moon. You're going to a psychic night, you're going to a ghost hunt. Anything taboo comes under the 8th house. Even things to do with sex come under the 8th house. Topics around that, topics to do with conception and just the things that we don't necessarily talk about. All taboo topics come up under the 8th house. Death, morgues, graveyards, dark things, topics to do with murder mysteries and things like that. We tend to have more interest in these things when we have transits in the 8th house, and a full moon can bring a realization or can bring busyness to that area of our life. So it can just be that you are having more of an interest in some way. Now, Saturn that traditionally rules this is in your 10th house. So there's a connection between your, I want to say healing, but this is also obviously your psychology, something that you're going through, and your public image and reputation. So when I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking of things like, because the 8th house is intimacy. 7th house is partnerships, 8th house is where we get intimate, but it can also be the house of transformation. So maybe for some of you, you're going through something relationship wise, and this would be changing your public status. That's possible for some of you. Relationship wise, it's something to do with, I'm thinking of like, because it's conception, like things like IVF and taboo topics like that. People don't want to talk about how you make life can come up, because it's life and death. How you make life shows up in the 8th house, and that would have a connection between hospitals and clinics and also your public image. So there's something here for some of you. Could be a pregnancy, something like that, or topics to do with pregnancy. Pregnancy does normally show up in the 5th house, but the idea of getting pregnant and the conversations about that show up in the 8th. So it's more going to be like topics around that, especially your Aquarius. Okay, IVF is why I'm thinking science. Conversations about that can be relevant for some of you. This isn't going to be all of you, but for some of you. The 8th house is also other people's money. It's where we merge with other people. So a realization about your joint finances, a realization about your partner's money, taxes, money owed to you, investments. So something coming up around investments, paying something off, something coming back to you, especially with Mercury retrograding in your 2nd house of finances. Maybe some money's coming back to you, or maybe you're having to pay something out, you're having to pay off a debt. Something like that can definitely be possible, all under this 8th house moon. You can feel quite tense here, guys, and you might not be feeling, because obviously the moon rules you. So the moon rules you, it's in the 8th house, you're going to be feeling deep, but you can use this energy, go deep. Go, this is the house of healing. Maybe something is being healed around this time, or you're having to think about how you can heal in some way. You guys get the Page of Earth, so something is starting here. Something is starting here for you. Something to do with resources. So for some of you, yes, it can be money. It can be, like I said, changes to your partner's money is also possible, or any joint accounts and things like that. But the page, was it the page? Yes, the Page of Earth. Let me read the positive affirmation. It says, commitment to prosperity, first signs of tangible success and undeniable evidence that hard work will pay off, dreams grounded in reality and start of a new project. This might be something that you don't really want to tell anyone about because this house is quite secret, but there can be a start of something here. Everything starts with a plan, and I am beginning to see results generate prosperity. I am a doer, and I get to make my own decisions. I have the ability to attract what I need. So something prosperous can be starting here, whether it's a new beginning because you're going through something, or whether it's something financial. It can all be relevant. And, also you guys have got Jupiter in the 1st house. This is about freedom, setting yourself free potentially, but also abundance and opportunities coming to you. Venus is coming through. So Venus might be conjunct some of your planets, depending where you have your sun or your moon or your rising. She's coming into a conjunction with Jupiter. So this is going to make you feel, for the most part, quite positive over the next coming days after this full moon. Let me know if that resonates, Cancer, and I'll see you in the next video. Leo and Leo rising. This full moon is happening in your 7th house of relationships. This is your committed relationships, your one-on-one partnerships. This is the house of open enemies, contracts, agreements. Every significant one-on-one relationship can show up here. And when we have a full moon in the 7th house, it's usually about other people and not so much about us. So things are showing up for people in your life. Important things, possibly. So there can be something, so if you're in a relationship, there can be something happening with a partner. It can be that you're having a very important conversation. It can be that you're moving towards your goals with a partner because Uranus is here in the 11th house and Uranus is the modern ruler. So yes, you can be making progress when it comes to a partner and goals, or there can be something relevant about a partner and legal matters, or a partner and your beliefs and your faith. So something about you and another person, and you're having a realization about your beliefs, your worldview, or legal matters in some way. Aquarius is obviously an air sign, so it really is about communication and technology and information in some way. Science can be relevant. Now, the 7th house is also just, so if it's not romantic, it can be like a best friend, something happening in a best friend's life to do with their goals for the future, or, a contract coming to an end that you've agreed with somebody, especially to do with legal matters. Maybe the ending of a contract, the ending of a partnership, or a contract with a partnership, the ending of a marriage or something like that could be very relevant under this full moon in the sign of Aquarius. Agreements, things coming to light. But, it's open enemies, okay? Finding out that people don't really like you, that's also possible under this, although really not very likely, but it can happen. Just things showing up with other people. Like, for example, my friend had this was ages ago and it wasn't in the sign of Aquarius, but there was a full moon in her 7th house with the ruler in the 9th, and she witnessed an accident, and she was having to spend time doing all this legal paperwork because she'd witnessed an accident. So it brought in the other people and it brought in the legal matters. So things like that can show up, especially obviously Saturn the modern ruler opposing Mars, you know, things can be a bit tense under this. So it is important to ground ourselves. You guys get the Justice card. This is a Major Arcana card. So when we get Major Arcana cards, these are things that are a little bit more fated and out of our control. It's number 11, which is an angel number, and it is one of the karma. It's saying karma, so one of the karmic. I mean, I was going to say they're all karmic, but the law of cause and effect is in play now as I see elements in my life balance out. What goes around comes around. I'm now seeing evidence of this law in the conditions of my world. So this is very interesting. What goes around comes around. It's a balance. It's the cause of law and effect. The 7th house balances you out. If you've treated people unfairly, maybe now they're treating you unfairly. So this is what we're going to see under this full moon. It's the push and the pull, and that card is saying that, you know, if you've done good things will come to you, and if not, then things may come back and bite you in the bum. So we'll see how that goes, Leo. You'll have to let me know in the comments if that resonates and what's happening with the other people in your life currently. Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Virgo and Virgo rising, you are experiencing this full moon in your 6th house. This is your health, your work, your routines, your habits. Something coming to light about your health around this time, or you are paying more attention to your health. Especially with Pluto in the 6th house, you are being encouraged to transform your health or your work or your habits in some way. Mercury retrograding your 12th is like, okay, how do I self-sabotage? How do I need to kind of get rid of my limiting beliefs, get rid of my self-sabotaging behaviors? How can I heal? Full moon in the 6th is like, okay, this is my health, this is what I need to do. And you're having a realization about that under this time. Now, for others, this can be about your work and your schedules. So if this is not health related, it's about your work. A change in your schedules, a change in your routines. Maybe you're starting work earlier, maybe you're starting work later, maybe you're changing your office days. All of those things can come up. Things to do with co-workers can come up, and things to do with pets can come up with a full moon here. Now, with the ruler of this being in your, the modern ruler is in your 10th house. This is your career, but it's also your public image. So something to do with your health and how you're seen and the goals you're working towards, or something to do with your work on your routines and your career. So shifts in career can be happening for a lot of you. Changes in your working schedules, definitely possible. The traditional ruler is in your 8th house. This can be changes to joint finances, changes to your partner's money, changes to any investments that you have, especially kind of in the workplace, or transformations when it comes again to your health. Are you going through a crisis? Are you going through some sort of crisis, or are you having to make adjustments to your health when it comes to conception and deep dark topics that we don't want to talk about our body and excuse me. Also, I want to say the 6th house is the house of service and healing. 8th house is the house of transformation and magic. So for some of you, this is going to be something to do with your work and you being of service to other people in a deep manner, in a healing manner, in a transformational manner. 8th house is coaching. That can be relevant for some of you as well. Now, Saturn is opposite Mars in the 2nd. So yes, this can be financial, or there's a realization around what's important, around values, around topics to do with intimacy, because the 8th house is intimacy with a partner. And so things to do with your health, your work, your routines, how that's affecting things to do with your partner, or how those things are affecting your money can all be relevant. Ace of Fire, something new is beginning here. Something new, something creative, something is starting. Now let me just find the Ace of Fire tarot card. So spirit powered action, inspired transformation, access to co-creative power. When I feel my connection to spirit, I see unlimited potential for transformation. There is no reason to fear because I'm supported fully in imagining something new and daring to make it happen. This is a time to dream big. I can be bold and free because spirit inspires me to turn my dreams into a reality. So whatever you're working towards, or whatever you're realizing, Virgo, under this full moon, you are being encouraged by this tarot card that you can manifest this. You can put your energy into something and it can manifest. So 4 on the clock. So take that as you will. Let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. What's happening in your work, your routines, your schedules, your pets. Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Libra and Libra rising. This full moon is happening in your 5th house of love, romance, creativity. This is your business. The things that you create come up in the 5th house, but it's also your children. If you have children, or topics to do with children or your inner child can also come up. So a realization here, something coming to an end is possible. You can be releasing a creative project into the world. You can be, doing a new hobby or finishing up a hobby that you've been working on, or just going and having fun under this full moon. It can just be that you're going and having fun, maybe with friends, with Mercury retrograding in your 11th house, with friends, old friends, excuse me. Or it can be that you're having a realization about your business. It can be, what do I want to create? What am I putting out there? What am I working towards for the future, with the Mercury retrograde being part of this as well? Spending time with children, having a realization about your children, just being busy with children, or connecting to your inner child is all possible. The traditional ruler of this, Saturn, is in your 7th house of one-on-one relationships. So yes, it could definitely be that you're spending time with children under this full moon. It can be that you're spending time with a partner under this full moon. You're getting close. You are maybe making a relationship committed, or you're saying goodbye to a relationship. Now that Saturn is in your 7th house, this is more of a reality check around your one-on-one relationships. You're having to commit, or you're having to say goodbye. It tends to be one or the other with Saturn. It's a reality check. Is this working? Is this not working? So the realization in your 5th house of love and romance, is this partnership for me? And, there's some frustrations here. Mars is in your 1st house opposing this. There's some frustrations, like maybe you want to be with someone, but you can't be with them. And there's a frustrated energy. The modern ruler of this, Uranus, excuse me, is in your 9th house. This is a realization about your love life and having to have faith, and maybe having to travel. Maybe somebody that you care for is traveling. Maybe they're moving far away. Maybe you're having a realization about your faith when it comes to romance. So, okay, how are my beliefs changing when it comes to romance? And that can be happening under this full moon. Pluto moving into the 5th is going to transform your love life. It is. If that's not relevant for some of you, then this will be more about your business and actually maybe the things that you're creating. So, wanting to study something new for your business. Uranus in the 9th house. You're deciding that you want to, and it's going to be something unusual, but you're going to want to study something unusual. You're going to take a course or do something. You're going to learn something for your business, and it can be something a little bit unusual. And that's building under this full moon. Okay, so you'll have to let me know, Libra, what is going on for you guys. Realizations around travel, romance, creativity, partnerships, working one-on-one with people can be relevant, or just important people in your life, romantic, or maybe your children, like I mentioned. So lots of different ways that this can manifest. That just turned over. You guys get the Empress. She's so strong in her power. Again, another major arcana card. So this is really a really important karmic card for you guys. Fertility. You're birthing something, you're creating something. This is a wonderful time to give birth to a new idea and experience. Nourishment is assured as I step into a new version of myself. My life is rich and ripe with possibility that I can manifest and create. I am a powerful co-creator. And life loves me right now. My world is brimming with potential and infinite possibility that will manifest for the highest good. That's a positive card, guys. You can start a new adventure and be successful with it. So take that as you will. Let me know if that resonates at all, and I'll see you in the next video. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. You guys, sorry, I've got such a dry throat. That's really not attractive, is it? Okay, you guys are doing this full moon in your 4th house. Okay, so this is a house that squares you. You're a fixed sign. So fixed full moon, all fixed full moons are going to affect you guys because these are your angular houses. So a full moon in the sign of Aquarius is going to be very, very relevant in some way. Now, you can be having a realization about your family, about where you live, about your living situation. Wow, I've just realized my friend is a Scorpio rising, and this is so relevant for her right now. You could possibly be ending a living situation. You could be moving out. Pluto is in your 4th house. So we know that you are experiencing changes within the home for the years to come. So full moons here are going to hit more personally. So changes to your home. Now, for some of you, it can just be that you're rearranging the furniture, you're redecorating, you're having people come to stay. But I want to say especially with the Mercury retrograde in your 10th, it's like a rethinking of your public status. Maybe your relationship status is possible. Mercury rules your 8th house of transformation, an ending to a living situation. You could be moving out, you could be moving back home, something like that could be happening. Excuse me. Now, the modern ruler of this is Uranus in the 8th house. So Uranus has just moved into your 8th house, guys. So it does present or suggest that you are going to be doing some sort of healing, or you're going through some sort of crisis or transformation. The 8th house is divination, it's our psychology, it's intimacy. So there could be changes to any of these things. There could be changes to our finances. 4th house is obviously the home. Changes to finances. A lot of you can be moving. A lot of you are going to be moving, or your partners, your joint finances are changing. Maybe you're opening a joint account. Maybe you're closing a joint account. Joint finances are changing. This is the house of, like mortgages, debts, taxes, investments. All of that can be changing. You can be having breakthroughs with joint finances, paying things off, or having to take out debts. But the full moon itself is highlighting something about your home and living situation. This is also the house of emotions. You are going to feel very emotional under this, especially because it's squaring you. Your emotions are going to be coming to the surface. And there's an element of wanting to break free and freedom. Okay, it's Aquarius. You're wanting to change something or do something different. And it can just be that you're just wanting to do something really wacky, like, okay, I want to paint my kitchen pink. Something like that could be possible. For some of you, it's going to be a bit more serious than that. Now, the traditional ruler Saturn is in your 6th house. So something to do with your home and your work is going to be changing, something to do with your routines, your schedules, your daily work. Changes maybe even with pets, to do with the home and pets. The home and work. So it could be that you are moving back home and you get to see your pet more. It can be that you're moving out of your house and you're having to give your pet away. It could be that you're moving house and you're changing jobs. You're moving house and you're changing schedules. All of these things can be relevant. And there is some frustration with Mars in the 12th house. This is about healing, going through a crisis and turning your energy inward and just feeling a little bit under this energy. I don't know if you can hear the ice cream van, but apparently he's outside my house. So yeah, let me know, Scorpio, what is going on for you? How are your work schedules changing? How is your home and family environment changing? It can also be a realization about a family member, and there can be changes to a family member's life if it's not yours. That's always possible with astrology. Sometimes things show up in our charts that are actually for other people. We see that a lot with the 11th house and friendships, 7th house and other people, and also the 4th house and family members. You guys get the 4 of Earth. Okay, I won't spend time trying to stare at that and tell you what's coming to me. I'm just going to read you the positive affirmation. Otherwise, we will be here all day. So, 4 of Earth. Ownership, the beauty of divine order, trusting in a solid foundation. Even if I feel shaken up and I am unable to understand why things happen as they do, I know for certain that divine order manifests in all aspects of my life. What I have built rests on a solid foundation, so there is no need to fear. While it is true that nothing is permanent in the material world, I find security in the existence of a divine plan. Spirit is always there to remind me that I am exactly where I am meant to be for my highest good and the highest good of all, and that I always have abundance available to me. There's no need to fear. So this, for some of you, this is going to, because it's Earth, is to do with your resources being shaken up a little bit. But again, because it's in the 4th house, it's going to be like your foundations and your emotional foundations. So there can be a bit of a shake up for some of you. Not all of you, and it really probably will manifest more strongly if you have planets and angles around 17 degrees, because that's where the full moon is happening. So 17 degrees of the fixed sign will make this more challenging. 17 degrees of the other signs can actually make this a bit harmonious. So yeah, you'll have to let me know, Scorpio, what is going on to do with your home, your family. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, you are experiencing this full moon in your 3rd house. This is the house connected to your thinking, your mind, your intellect, what it is that you're learning, what it is that you're studying. This is the house of communities, neighborhood. This is the house of your siblings. I'm sorry if you can hear the ice cream van. He's really close now. What a weird time to come. It's like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Okay, so a full moon here is you are realizing that you want to learn something. You're realizing that you want to change something about your mindset. You can be going on lots of short trips around this time. You can be visiting kind of different parts of your town, just going on a trip. Can be changes to your car, changes to your transport, changes to your kind of daily errands, would I say. Connecting, communicating, social media stuff can come up here. If you are somebody that writes or works on the internet, so this is like blogs, social media, you know, making things on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of that kind of stuff, you can be a bit busier with that during the full moon here. Having an important conversation now, but I think with Mercury retrograding your ninth, you're actually rethinking what it is that you learn and study. And a full moon here can be like, right, I want to go and study this, or I want to develop my mind here. And just changes to your mindset about something can be relevant around this time. And because the traditional ruler of this full moon is Saturn and it's here in your fifth, maybe you are thinking of a new way to approach your business. Maybe you're wanting to learn something new because of your business. Maybe you're wanting to teach something new and maybe something unusual because of your business or because of what you're creating. Or for some of you, there's changes to your schedules because of children. There's changes to things to do with communication and connection around your love life as well. So like schedules are changing because of a romantic partner. Conversations with a romantic partner could be relevant. Communication with a romantic partner can be relevant. Now the model ruler of this Uranus is in your 7th house. So again, it's tying in one-on-one relationships. So it can be you're having an important conversation with a partner. You're discussing something, changes to your schedule. Again, it's things, for a lot of you, there's going to be an element of partnerships or children. Or because the 3rd house is like information, the 7th house is like contracts, so things to do with contracts and maybe people that you work with, like business partnerships, things can be changing around that as well. I want to say, like business partnerships, making adjustments in terms of, so for example, if you work with clients and you get them to fill out, an introduction form, you're making changes to that. Things like that, things to do with information can be changed around this time. I'm trying to think of people that are a bit older, if they're retired, how this might be relevant. It can be that you are, finishing up a book, or you're deciding that you are going to go and join a local group or something like that, and you want to meet new friends and you want to have a bit more fun, get out there and have a bit more fun, even though Saturn in your 5th might restrict that somewhat. You guys get the love card. This is the Leo card. It's a sign of strength. I'm going to read the positive affirmation to you. Number 6. Another major arcana card. Oneness. In all of life, there is only the illusion of separation. In fact, we are all reflections of one another. We're all reflections of one another. Sorry, full stop. When I make choices, I tend to see things as either or. What if every choice I make is about an experience, a sharing and an exploring? When I choose to see the unity in all things, magic abounds. Love is all around me, spirit loves me unconditionally, and I can give and receive abundant love. Okay, so this is really about collaboration. Love is all around us, collaborating with people. When I choose to see the unity in all things, magic abounds. Love is all around me, spirit loves me unconditionally, and I can give and receive abundant love. But I feel like, because the 3rd house is about connection, I feel like kind of connecting with others and connecting with people and connecting with community in a sense of love is going to bring you happiness, for whatever reason that's come to me. Okay, so take that as you will. Let me know, Sagittarius, how that resonates, and I'll see you in the next video. Capricorn and Capricorn rising, you are experiencing this full moon in Aquarius in your 2nd house. This is very financial for you. A realization about your money, a realization about your finances. Mercury is retrograding in your 8th house, so you're rethinking your joint finances. Maybe you're having some money come back to you through investments or debts, or you're paying off debts, or you're trying to rejig money around during this time, and the full moon here is having a realization about your money, about your finances. Now, there could be a direct correlation between your work, because the modern ruler of this is in your 6th house. Changes to your income, changes to your work schedules, changes to your job. Some of you are changing jobs, you're earning more money, or you're just earning a different amount of money, or you're realizing something about your money because of work changes. Maybe you're going part-time, maybe you're going full-time, and that's where the schedule changes can come in. The traditional ruler is Saturn, which is in your 4th house. So this is, okay, We're having a realization about our home, our family, what are we having to spend on this home, what we having, you know, if some of you are trying to move, or, you know, you're renovating your own house, or you're fixing things within the home, there's going to be a realization about your money and what you're paying out to it. So that's going to be happening under this full moon, maybe paying out for things for the home, or having a realization about your income connected to family members, what your partner's bringing in, what you're bringing in, and just kind of having to have conversations about this. Aquarius is an air sign. Conversations are going to be relevant. You guys also get the Ace of Fire. This is the second time this has come up. This is about manifesting your income. So keeping in a positive vibration when it comes to your money, because what you think about, what you speak, manifests. If you want more money, you can manifest it, okay? And this is also, you know, aces are the start of something. So I'm going to read you the positive affirmation. Ace of Fire. Did I mention everything that I wanted to mention about that? Before we move on, there is some tension here between, yes, your career and your family, frustrations at work to do with things out in the public eye, but then what's really going on behind closed doors, and there's an element of tension here. And with the full moon squaring Juno in your 11th house, it's like, okay, my partner and I really committed to our goals, and how are our goals affecting our income at the moment in some way. So Ace of Fire, spirit-powered action, inspired transformation, access to co-creative power. When I feel my connection to spirit, I see unlimited potential for transformation. There is no reason to fear, because I am supported fully in imagining something new and daring to make it happen. This is a time to dream big. I can be bold and free because spirit inspires me to turn my dreams into reality. So it's really encouraging you there. To dream big and go after what you want, because this tarot card is suggesting that something can be manifested. You need to focus on what it is that you want to manifest. So keep positive. Let me know, Capricorns, what's going on, what's happening about in your home and your family, what's happening to do with your resources. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Aquarius and Aquarius rising, this full moon is in your sign. This is all about you. You are the stars of the show. So a full moon in your sign, in your first house, can be to do with anything connected to your life. So it can be physical, so it can be about your physical appearance, your physical body, a realization about how you look, a realization about your identity, a realization about how you're showing up in the world. Especially now Pluto is in Aquarius. When we have new and full moons here, this is going to be extra powerful, because you are going through some sort of transformation, Aquarius. Realization about, okay, my identity, where I am, my neighborhood, how I communicate, my situation. A realization about your love life. The modern ruler of this is Uranus. It's in your 5th house. So you can be realizing something about what you're creating, about your business, about your love life, or about how you have fun, and making changes to this. You might be making changes to your romantic partners. You might be making changes to your business and coming up with new creative ideas. There might be some changes to do with children. You might be getting pregnant. You might realize you're pregnant under this full moon. That's very possible in the 1st house, with Uranus in the 5th house, trining Pluto in the 1st. There's actually a grand trine going on here, so that's possible. If you're not birthing a new idea, you could be birthing a child. And as I've mentioned before, if you don't want to get pregnant, guys, you need to be using protection during this Uranus transit. Saturn is a traditional ruler, and it's in the 3rd. So this could be a realization about the neighborhood that you live in, about your friendships and your connections. You know, who do I connect with? You know, for example, if you have kids, you know, am I going to this baby group? Am I making friends here? Maybe you're thinking about showing up differently when it comes to connecting with others. Maybe you're thinking, okay, I need to make a bit more effort. I need to not be so aloof, and I need to actually communicate with these parents and these things. The 3rd house is to do with like schools. So for example, if you have children, maybe you're thinking about getting on the PTA or getting involved with the school stuff. You know, all of that kind of stuff can show up in the 3rd. Appointments, doctors, communications, I often see that show up in the 3rd, because it's all about information. 3rd house is things to do with our hands. So whether it's writing, whether it's whatever we do with our hands, a lot of it, again, it's information. So it's typing, it's writing, it's you know, hairdressers, any kind of craft. Lots of crafts can show up in the 3rd if we're using our hands. This is a full moon in your 3rd house, and maybe there's a realization around you, what you do, and the craft that you're building in some way. Maybe feeling more rebellious than usual during this time. But this is generally, all aspects of your life can show up with a full moon in the first house. You're rethinking your relationships at the moment with the Sun and Mercury in your 7th house of partnerships, or you're hearing from people from the past. And, you know, this is a balancing act. A full moon is a balancing act. It's like highlighting something about you versus other people. And so this can show up in many different ways. With a square to Juno in the 10th, there can be some something to do with your committed relationship with your work. So your commitment to your work, and there could be some tension here between how you feel and your commitment to your work. Something like that is very possible. Or relationships with kind of your boss. Oh wow, you guys get the Tower card. Okay, so this is a very powerful card. This is about transformation, shall we say. Things falling down in order to be resurrected. Things happen really fast when this card shows up in a reading. Its appearance could portend a total paradigm shift or a sudden upheaval that takes something away in order for something better to take its place. It could be that I've had an epiphany, whatever it is. This card tells me unexpected events will be very interesting and offers opportunities for positive transformation if I remain present with my eyes open. So something big could be coming for you guys. I'm trying to think, you know, Pluto is now retrograde. Pluto has been in your sign since 2024. So you have already had a full moon last year with Pluto in this sign, but this is maybe the second one. So if you are looking for change, if you are looking for transformation, then you can definitely see it happening under this full moon now that Pluto is in your first house. So you'll have to let me know, Aquarius, what is going on. What is going on to do with your neighborhood, your connection, your community, your children, and your business and things that you are creating. I would be really interested to know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. And then Pisces, you have a full moon in your 12th house in the sign of Aquarius. So this is the more hidden aspect of your chart, the more subtle aspect of your chart, area of your chart, I should say. You guys kind of familiar with 12th house energy because you are Pisces, in the sense of the 12th house is very sensitive, it's very spiritual, it's very secretive, it's very subconscious. But with the full moon here, it highlights things. It highlights things that are being hidden, things that need to be healed and released and healed and let go of. The 12th house is clinics, hospitals. It is places of solitude. It's spas, retreats. It's our limiting beliefs and our self-sabotaging behaviors. Now that Pluto is in your 12th house, you are transforming your self-sabotaging behaviors. You are transforming around how you like to escape from the world. This is the house of escapism. Where are your bad habits? Mercury retrograding the 6th is having you rethink your bad habits or rethink your work and your routines. But a full moon in the 12th is like, these are your bad habits. You need to let them go. This is what you need to heal. You need to let it go. Connections to spirituality can be possible. It can be that you're doing some spiritual healing. Maybe you're doing some Reiki. Maybe you're seeing a spiritual healer. All of that kind of stuff can show up in the 12th house. The traditional ruler of this is in your 2nd. So there's elements of what it is that you value and elements of your money. So there can be kind of subconscious things about money being released. Maybe if you don't feel like you're good enough or worthy enough of certain money, maybe you're doing some money work and manifesting and working on your money blocks. That kind of stuff can come up, or a realization around what it is that you value. It can be relevant. The modern ruler of this is Uranus, and it's in your 4th house. This is a realization about matters to do with the family and home, or things to do with healing. Maybe you're healing family trauma, maybe you're healing family wounds, maybe you're healing just things that have been going on at home that are sensitive. Maybe you're kind of healing and letting things go around this time. You could be wanting to move far away. There could be topics around kind of moving far away, going to a faraway place, and maybe you're wanting to move with, now that Uranus is in your 4th house, changes to the home and family, or having to heal and let go of something. It is very relevant for some of you. Now, the intense aspect is happening with Mars in your 8th house of other people's money. Saturn in the 2nd, this is other people's resources versus your resources. This is your investments versus, so some frustrations around investments can be possible. But a lot of the time the 12th house is quite silent and we don't always necessarily know what's going on here because it is subconscious. So the best way to utilize this energy is you might want to spend more time at home under this energy. You might just want to rest. You can actually have kind of very vivid dreams with full moon in the 12th house, you guys are going to be the sign that's not going to be sleeping very well under the full moon, because your 12th house is activated. Your dreams are being activated. I don't know why I said it in that weird way. Sorry about that. Yeah, so you'll have to let me know, Pisces, if this resonates for you. We're going to pull a tarot card for you guys now. Okay, you get the Four of Air. Another air card, appropriate for an air full moon. So Four of Air, Four of Air, Four of Air. So healing, meditation, rest and recuperation. Wow. It's time to rest my mind and allow peace to take place of busyness and boredom. The mind needs quiet to think and find clarity. If I allow my mind to rest, I will have greater clarity and my mind will be sharper. This is the time for a break. I need to take care of myself. So it can just be, guys, that you're spending more time in, like, yeah, just places of solitude. Go to the spa, go and have a pamper session, especially with the sun is in your 6th house. You're focusing on your health, which is great. And this is just a time where you just need to relax and really look after yourself. So that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you got value from this, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to do readings. And I hope this was helpful. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.